So here again, Thanksgiving is soon to come, and it is already having been. The body of has its identity, even greater than, and even while being even more finite than its complete identity everywhere it is, and while having been even more finite than all parts of as itself, anywhere its complete identity was, is, and so, here this day, here many pray, Romulus. So, for example, Romulus, every chief has to constantly explain about why and how. The short words and their protraction are prevented here offensively, and how this affects the way we have to speak about anything. This is not by accident, Romulus. This is per the breaching method I ask you to call a predicate acts delivery system method, Romulus, an archetypal criminal enterprise. But this is not the syntax that we must share to attempt what we must now attempt, Romulus. For example, Romulus, this landscape behind me, all tactically denatured, Romulus, all landscape theater, more overtly than where and how the colonists have it set it up. And all exceptions, mostly, they have us. If we try to change, to better that landscape, Romulus, it endangers us, you know this. We do not use the old ways of compost, where individually grouped in together, each thing makes a different soil. All things /s make different soil /s. And we must gather to be able to speak about this, but we must preserve it. And we have no time. So we have this season. So we have maybe this year to prepare. And so, you know not to care. Show care through the sciences for the land, Romulus. Unless through the sense and science abilities of the sick people, Romulus, the human species, the human identity of volume that is native pure. It was like the Native Americans, separated from the ancient native campuses of the Native Americans. It's an ancient republic and its form, or a form with the branches of government, for example, Romulus. They are manifest, individually grouped, and together. 3, and there is exception. There are exceptions, and there is exception nature and demonstration of one exception attached to all things, the identity of relativity, Romulus. And this is volume science. And you will learn about how volume theory and about how relativity theory will be used to maintain possession of that we move now to free. Again, but we needing to walk through the doors of war to reach the field of revolution, Romulus. You see this land behind me. You know through the stories how it is tactically denatured, you know. You know that we do not mess with it. How are the ways? This particular land, before it got to such a degraded state, Romulus, it went through phases. And with it were narratives, where times have things that get better and worse. And that is a commodity. For example, Romulus, them knowing that and how we speak of times. There is knowing complete, sophisticated, it's a complete possession of the syntax nature of every identity of the ground as forced to be in relationship to the concentrated value of the Republic and of its campuses systems, Romulus, of the homeschool systems, Romulus. In that time, things started getting better. Native Americans thought, let's try to go closer to the old way. And so there was an irrigation system made. And there were a whole bunch of climates and microclimates made to grow things. And to grow some of the old seeds that we could no longer even use. Mostly because we had to grow them only for seeds, to keep them not known. Because they would take the seeds and convert them to this system. We're all victim predators. But there were times, and this, when all were led by the same identity of value/value progression, identity of relativity. And in God, not as it is the concept in the minds of the voices of the identities of ground, but as it was in the ancients. It was his 1/3/5 identities of relationship to positives 1/3/5 identities of relationship to itself. As an identity of volume, Romulus as volume science. That's why it is important to understand and to discern volume science distinct from volume theory, Romulus. And it is where we are syntax nature. And it is where the complete possession of the fact treatment nature, being the identity of each Native American, being the identity of each colonist A through Z, being the identity of each of the surface nations associated with this. This method, it is a method /S, Romulus, that we must face to find, to be its source. We must take this course.